Alrighty, BB babes, let's go. Okay, so we got to the second episode. Um, it is the like table round thing that they started last season, with Taylor Hale and Derek with the L last name thing. Um, fucking awesome. I gotta stop swearing. Friggin' awesome. Um, super glad they're doing it. The thing about Big Brother and its audience and the amount of years it's been on TV and things, they've got that section of that audience that really doesn't, internet like that. The internet, sort of picked people up and everyone sort of went running with it, right? Well, there's a lot of people that just stayed with the TV, and the TV is good and it's good, so I'm not, and so when they brought that out and such with last season and stuff like that to have like a little commentary, right? Some of the behind the scenes, like like there's a little interview process here. There's a this here. There's a that there. Like that's sort of fun. Like as people that watch the show 3 or 4 times a week and then jump into the live feeds and it's talk about it at the dinner table and things like that. It's not a bad idea, right? Like it was progress when they introduced it, and I'm glad that they brought it back, right? I enjoy that the guy that they brought in last season is like now the new panelist. I he's got the right spirit, right? Like like he's interested and like so I'm it's like we'll see how that all goes or whatever. Plus I think it's a good bounce for what's his face too, just whatever, because Taylor's a strong lady, and like she's one of those people that she gets even tougher when you put her around tough people. So I can appreciate the good on that, or the wellness to it all, I guess. I don't know. All right, so yeah, they started with some run throughs with some like that hidden footage of how that survivor guy stops in and he doesn't really say hi to that girl, and she like has herself like a little moment, and like, oh, so real. You gotta think like hours of work and this and that and all that extra pressure and stuff like that, and like like we all been there. And again, with how life works, like none of us really know why anything happens, right? Like tomorrow is still tomorrow away for everybody, right? Last season, the beginning of the year, when all of a sudden that chick was like all upset or whatever, and she almost got like popped out because she like decided to pick like a quick little fight or something, like, so it's interesting, like how that, and at least it's not anything like Sam, that the robot season, like Sam the robot season, um, she, like, would she, have done better? Yeah, probably. But there's everybody in Big Brother. There's always like a weird whatever that could cause this or that. You got to keep moving, and then so we got some behind. So that happened, and then we brought in the other Survivor lady. Oh, she was good. And like which is a good little tip towards like. Like, and she was the first, Survivor person in the house, and she actually was there with her son and such as well, which was so interesting. um, yeah, so her tips were spot on, you know. Um, and that's like sort of the thing, right? Like the guy survivor person that is there now. He was already like, oh my god, they really do say expect the unexpected. Like I've already seen this happen and that happen and whoa, and yeah, it's exciting, but it's the waiting game. It is the waiting game of it all. And at one point she was like, and weeks in, a third day 30, you're like, are you winking? Did you wink without me? Is somebody winking? Like, blinking. I'm sorry, blinking, which is even worse than winking. Like, oh, so funny. Um, Good tip, right? And she was like, get up early, just do it. It's not a law. We all know that, like, like how slow it seems in the game is interesting, like we saw way back in the day, like, like with what's his face, like sometimes people gain weight, sometimes people, forget to work out, sometimes like when you can't go anywhere, you can't go anywhere, but if you do the math, like that's almost, if you win the game, that's a few grand a day, you know. Okay, so whatever. And then we saw some different, little interviews and stuff like that, like the like like little like room before day of, and then we saw some like around the competition era time hellos and stuff like that. The jumping into the house just like Julie did and the whatever to like save to take Rachel from a skeleton back to a person. It's whimsical. I enjoy it. It's whimsical, right? Because first off, we've never seen someone just like, on the show, like they disappear, they go away, this and that, but, like in this reality and stuff like that, because again, it's reality TV, like, which means the reality that the TV decides is reality, right? Like there's a context to it. So whatever, we're going with that, right? So, and then they pull that and she's like there and she gets to like hang out and she's like there for the whole show that day and she's perfect, right? She's Rachel. It was a good mix. So then they, we conversated, they went back and forth. We, like there's the interviews again with Andy or whatever, and which, good ad. Doing the same stuff as last year. All this like the relatable faces that he makes, this and that, and then they gave him the power for the live feed turn off and on and such, and that was cute. They jump over to like, yeah, they keep going, this and that, and then I appreciate too that they start with the footage from in the house and they end with the footage in the house, right? So they almost make a little sandwich for this little cutout show, right? Which is interesting, right? The predictions that they do, very vital, right? Like not every family that watches Big Brother makes predictions. I'm one of the families that happens to not. Yet, we speculate our predictions around the third week or so, but it is not an abnormal reality that people make their predictions the first week. One of the bets a family will make about Big Brother is, okay, if you pick who is the winner, bragging rights. And again, bragging rights are a lot in this show, right? Like sometimes you make the little mini bets and you're like, okay, in the next 3 weeks, I bet this person is out or this person is in, because all of a sudden you're like, the game's being played, and they're either, well, I think this person's going to be a pawn for this guy, and this guy's going to this, or, like it's a fun game. Okay, so, and then we got to see some opinions from everybody about, like, who's whatting and what and where in, and so that was fun. Okay, and then they go, and then, like, towards the end, yeah, it goes well. Predictions, yeah, I mean, yeah, and then, at the very end, before, the live feed turn on, or after, I guess, they do like the quick, brings in the three of them already, which again, I did not do a close enough double check to see if that was an editing move or if they just really did find 3 doppelganger types, which, of course, I mean, no, it's time travel. It's them. Like, who knows? Yeah, cool. I'm excited. I appreciate that they're doing a show. It's helpful, and it reminds everybody that it might not seem like a lot, but communication is a lot, and it should be a heck of a season or whatever, we'll see how it all goes, and it doesn't and such and whatnot, but it's Big Brother, so, people. The cast seem ready to make what moves they feel is necessary. It's just, I guess we'll see what emotional lines get pushed and what don't get pushed and who's gonna what win and, this and that, Yeah, well, until next time.